Which option best represents a response class? A, pressing an elevator button, asking a fellow rider to press the elevator button, or using an object to press the elevator button. B, hitting a peer, poking a peer, calling a peer's name. C, calling your mom, emailing your mom, or typing a text in the text messaging app. Or D, yelling when done, yelling with others, or yelling a high pitched scream. The correct answer here is A, pressing an elevator button, asking a fellow rider to press the elevator button, or using an object to press the elevator button. This is why this can be kind of a tricky one. So it's asking me what best represents a response class. So to answer this, I need to know what a response class is, and then I actually need to be able to apply that information. So in this case, a response class, which I'm going to flip to, is a group of responses with the same function. So it actually produces the same effect on the environment. So when we look back at our answers, hitting a peer, poking a peer, and calling a peer's name may not always result in the same effect in the world. Like hitting a peer would likely maybe make a peer angry. It might result in a peer hitting you back. Poking a peer might result in something different, and calling peer's name hopefully results in them looking towards us, but it depends, right? So this would probably be the second best answer because it's possible that those three things could result in the same thing, but we really, looking at just the list, we're not as sure. So calling your mom, emailing your mom, and typing a text in the text messaging app. Now, remember, this third one doesn't say to your mom. So, although this might all result in having your mom respond to you, it's really different. So, calling your mom results in the ability to talk to her, like verbally, vocally. Emailing your mom results in an email being sent to her, and then typing a text in the text message app actually doesn't result in either of those things because it's just hanging out there, like we didn't even hit enter. So even though those are all related to communication, those are different actual functions in the world. So it's really important to keep in mind with a response class, we're looking for what effect do all of these have on the environment. So A, pressing an elevator button, asking a fellow rider to press the elevator button, or using an object to press the elevator button, hopefully all result in the elevator button being pressed, which is the result in the environment, which means this, even though these behaviors are wildly different, these actually are part of the same response class because they result in the same effect in the environment. And then the last one, yelling when alone, yelling with others, and yelling a high pitched scream. Although this may all result in a loud sound, this is not as clean. Like when we see this, like best represents a response class, this is not as cleanly given as A, where all of these are going to result in the elevator button being pressed. Yelling with others, like if you were in, I don't know, like camping and howling at the moon, could end up resulting in a very different thing than at yelling a high pitched scream by yourself. Just a reminder, a response class is a group of responses with the same function, so they produce the same effect on the environment. This is a good example of a response class. So if we were adding food to a utensil, it might be pinching chopsticks around the food. It might be stabbing food with a fork. It might be pushing the food onto the spoon with your finger. It might be pushing food onto the fork with a knife, which probably would be the polite thing depending on the culture that you're in. Or it might be stabbing the food with a knife. And again, all of these, although they seem really different and obviously would look like the topography of this would be very different, they result in the same thing, which is the food being added to the utensil. This is a response class of writing the number 8. I love to watch how people write the number 8 because everybody does it a little differently. So we might make the letter S and then not pick up our pencil and then make a backwards letter S to complete our 8, which kind of ends up with an 8 that looks kind of like the infinity symbol. Or we might make a circle and then make another circle on top, which ends up with an 8 that kind of looks like a tiny snowman. So either way, an 8 gets produced in the world. So these are part of the same response class because they have the same effect on the environment, even though they look really different. One, topography wise, the pencil isn't lifted and it's fully connected in that infinity style symbol. And one of them, we actually lift the pencil midway, move it down, or move it up and make another circle. So response class, same effect on the environment is what we're looking for.